my son. The day you were born, the very forests of Lordaeron whispered the name
Blackballz.
After endeavoring for thousands of hours in a game that never rewarded you for trying to be good, I decided to take my time on a 360-degree adventure and delve in the mysterious and infamous life of the RPers, the gankers, the 40-year-old man playing female characters in hopes of favors and pixelated boobs. While searching the internet for a long-term companion, I stumbled upon an old friend, a dear and loving comrade. The birth of all epic fights and amazing backgrounds, the wrath of the Lich King. Since we're broke and the older version is obviously more rewarding, I picked up a server, put my pirate shoes on, and took the luxury of scamming the system once more, therefore acquiring the game, free of charge and impossible to be tracked. What can I say?
I've been around, you know.
I opened the game, and in that moment, the feeling of nostalgia hit me. Just like a virus hits in an unprepared race of semi-developed apes. Disaster hit me in that moment. A feeling of unease made its way into my undeveloped brain, and fear struck. I was about to trade my life, once more, for virtual satisfaction. I've been to this place before, I told myself. I recognize everything, especially the characters that have been around for quite some time. I guess you can take the game out of the computer, but you can't take it out of yourself. With the experience I've gained over the years, I strategically took a pretty easy decision to create a female character. I mean, in a very populated zone for financial issues, of course. The process of bringing her to my expectations is a slow one. Every detail matters. She's your virtual girlfriend, so instead of making a mess of a character, I treated her just like I would treat my own girlfriend. Made her as plain and boring as I could. So it begins, I told myself. A new horizon waiting to be explored. A new life, a new chance, a new destiny. This is the chapter of the guide that no one ever knew. These are the adventures of Blackballz. As I have been entangled in such combats before, I have skipped the details that came with the early combats, as it resembles the feeling of ranking up in League of Legends. The goal was set though. I was to become the greatest paladin this server ever witnessed, and like every girl that just hit her puberty, I will bitch and moan about everything that doesn't go my way, and right now I don't see gold coming my way. The plan was simple. Finish the starting zone as fast as possible and run to Goldshire. My needs will be fully met in a place that holds the name of my goal. I smacked and slapped, scratched and spit till the quests I had to do were dealt with. As WoW has always been an interactive game, I raised my expectations to a new level. The one of a normie who needs the presence of others around him, so with haste I made my way to the inn in Goldshire, where I would meet the people that I would call friends or family. I was met with disappointment, and the feeling of unease returned. Alone in that cum-stained inn, I understood that League was not the only game that was dying. Without a fairy tale, I left the lonely inn and made my way towards the dark caverns of the kobolds in search for hidden treasures. Too long have they stolen the candles from the BDSM freaks in Goldshire. It was time I brought justice for all these people that have not been accepted by the modern society that we live in. I understood that if you want to get high, you gotta scrape the lower parts. I understood that. So I decided to become the hero of the miscreants. I decided to become the hero of the ones that have been forgotten, forsaken, the ones that have a very bad problem with certain things that have a lot of fur. With victory rushing through my head and a raging boner in my pants, I clapped every goddamn rat in that cave and came back victorious, with goods for all my friends. It was at that point that I realized that my reward was gonna be different. I was special. I had pixelated boobs. I was to receive gold from the best quest givers in the game, the neckbeards. But since the internet is a mysterious and interesting place, this server adopted a policy of not allowing low-level scum to write in-game till you play more than 4 hours. In the corner of my eye, I felt depression. Yet again, unable to communicate, alone, I made my way towards the capital city of my beloved faction. There, I would look for a method to maybe, get some gold. Maybe find a job, maybe get married, lose my job and get a beat down every night from my husband every time he comes home from another orgy in Goldshire. And then have to raise 3 kids that are not even his. It felt like I could touch these images in my head, and in that moment, the tingling sensation that came from my left nipple woke me up. Blackballz is not a slave. She's not a powerless paladin. She is the embodiment of e-girls and a 26-years-old man with nothing else to do but sit in his room and talk 'cause it's coronavirus time, baby. Here I was, born to explore, ready to conquer this city and the neckbeards that it inhabited. Every step felt like a victory, and with every victory I started to remember why I could never navigate through this city. It was at this moment that I remembered my past life, what I truly was. Dread started to fill my glass with anxiety as the eyes of all my fellow neckbeards turned to me. I remembered right then and there all the killing, the camping, the dust that used to fill my lungs, the cow shit that I would step into every fucking morning. I know what I am, and I'm proud of it. But as I walked towards the innkeeper, I was stopped by a neckbeard, and in that moment, my heart stopped. They had found me out. It felt like I was getting stopped by the police in the middle of a pandemic. The jolly fellow inspected me and came to the conclusion that I was a spy. Hence the policy of the server. I could not defend myself. The situation was dire. I was guilty in their eyes, and the only thing I could do was what they taught me in the row schools in Undercity. Walk by, pretend like I'm lagging, and hope that my vanishing act works. Thank God I did not skip the row classes, because as expected, the Alliance has always been a disappointment when it came to figuring out stuff. The neckbeard even paid me for the trouble he caused, and I was on my way now, with a heavier wallet. Hell yeah. Once the cloud of fear disappeared, I realized that I was here. Yeah, this is the dream of every e-girl. The capital city, the sun, neckbeards running around offering gold. This was a dream come true. But I was notified by my right eye that a mail was sent to me, and that piqued my curiosity. What I was about to find out was a surprise from a fellow player that felt like girls needed to be treated equally. And goddamn, this looks like equality. I'm motherfucking rich now, baby. Let's go. The motherfucking shops are flourishing in Stormwind right now. I have 400 G's in Stormwind. The shops, man. I was like a flower that just bloomed and there was only one thing left to do. Pimp my e-girl. With fresh gear, I left that Gotham behind. I was Batman, looking for a fight worthy of my stature. And I remember in that moment that only one foe could be worthy of my sword. And there was only one thing left to do. Story time. In the western parts of the Elven Forest lived an old enemy of the state. One that would reward me with glorious gifts. An elite. A Harvey Weinstein. Weinstein of Azeroth. He's also known as Hugger, and I was to kill him for the good of the realm. The night was young, but full of terrors, sword and shield, ready to approach the beast of Hollywood. The numbers on his lifeline were troublesome. I was feeling anxiety, but in that moment I rose my sword and charged into battle. The plan was simple: lay on hands if things go south. With a strike of the sword and a bump of the shield, I took down Harvey. I felt a sense of accomplishment, adrenaline, and also a slight weakness in my body. Probably the lack of nutrients was the main cause for that, but I fought and I won. Now I rest. And what better place to rest than the jolly and silent village of Goldshire? I was tired, muddy, beaten, cummy. I didn't need any food nor water. I just walked to my room, and I pretended not to pay attention to the man that was sitting there, hanged my sword on a dildo hanger, and goddamn sleep hit me from behind like it meant it. Tomorrow, a new adventure awaits for me. Agent Blackballz, out.